All right. Welcome back to another Vagabonds Live. Remember, this is a live for Vagabonds Academy. My name is Booth. We provide services on DeFi, how to secure assets, how to guarantee that your offspring or your heirs get your crypto or get access to their inheritance without bureaucracy and without governments. We also have an academy where we provide a lot of information about the geopolitical world and how that affects cryptocurrencies. Today, we're going to be talking about a few subjects. We're going to be talking about Donald Trump, the idea that the US wants to get hold of Canada or make Canada become the 51st state of the US. Also going to be talking about something very controversial, Andrew Tate. And I think my opinion on the matter may become even more controversial. Very few people know my real opinion about the situation with Andrew Tate. And now he's trying to become the prime minister or at least create a political party, and he may be going for a prime minister in the UK. So those are the topics we're going to be covering today. Also, we're going to be talking more about Donald Trump and his ability to be a negotiator, and what does it mean to get Greenland and to get Canada into the US. So what does that mean in our view? Of course, we can be wrong, and we welcome anybody else's opinion. So let's start with the first topic, Cora. What is the first topic for today on this live? Andrew Tate
It's,
or Canada?
no, let's talk first about Donald Trump and this. You mentioned that it's like a misunderstanding.
Yes, I think so. There's a few views, right? We talk about this in the clubhouse, and we do have a friend who is a venture capitalist who gave his insight, which may make sense. I think Marcus agrees with him. So my view as an outsider is the following. My view is they were making a joke, and some people took that seriously because, I mean, they post on X, right? We can post any. I think the idea on X is let's post the most absurd thing, let's get the clickbaits going. And I think Donald Trump posted image with some Swiss mountain, I think is the burn, the symbol for the Toblerone chocolate on the far front, and him there with the Canadian flag next to him and oh Canada. I believe that was literally a joke. And I think some people took seriously, and now everyone is doubling down. And that's my view. It's just a way to get people attention, to get clicks, and to get controversy. In my view, I just see all that as a joke. However, one thing I want to say, Canada or Greenland being part of the US is very different than, for instance, Ukraine becoming part of Russia. And I'm going to explain the difference. Here's the difference. The US has 50 states, or in my view, 50 countries. The US is a federation. There is initially, now of course that is changing, but initially there was a huge degree of autonomy that the state has. For instance, you can smoke marijuana in California, but you may not be able to smoke marijuana in Texas. So there's no outreach of law. This is going to go for all states except for the American Constitution. And even on the American Constitution, some states are also now going against the American Constitution. Example, there's an amendment on the Constitution, I believe the Second Amendment, which is anyone can bear arms. Now they're creating license for arms. Here's the thing. According to the Constitution, every human being, once at a certain age, or by the approval of their parents, they can have an arm, they can have a weapon. The idea of a license is against the Constitution. Some states are doing that. So everything that any country has, Supreme Court, Parliament, whatever, each state of the US has that. So becoming an extra state to the US is not the same as being invaded or losing total autonomy of your country or total sovereignty of your country. There's a difference there. It doesn't mean that Canada will become part of the US. But for instance, Mexico, if they offer that to Mexico, I think Mexico should consider become or not become part of the state. So it's not the same because it's a federation. At least that's my view. Now, Marcus and Wes had a conversation about this during the week. I think it's just a joke. I think it's just Donald Trump making some threats to improve his ability to negotiation. So, and I'm going to give an example to you. He's pushing now 5% for all NATO countries to pay 5% of the GDP to be spent on the military defenses. He may not get the 5%, but he may get all countries to pay the 2%, which is the original deal. Not all countries are paying the 2%. So I think it's just a strategic move or a tactical move for a better negotiation. I think this mountain, if I'm not mistaken, is the Bern mountain that is on the Toblerone chocolate. This is Switzerland. This is not Canada. This here, look. This here, it's Switzerland. It's not Canada.
It doesn't look like the Rockies, or like it doesn't look like Alberta. I don't think so.
No. So if you want to just search for Toblerone chocolate, the Bern Mountain. I think it's that one. I could be wrong. I could be wrong on the name of the mountain, but I'm not wrong of where the mountain is. That mountain is definitely Switzerland. Are you seeing that, Laura? Is that one or not? Yeah. Uh, you see?
It looks
I
pretty
think this
similar.
one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think this one. Look at here. I think here we can see very clearly. I think this one. Oh, I put the eraser instead of the marker. This one here looks like that mountain, right?
Hmm.
And this is the mountain for the Toblerone chocolate. It's called Bern. And very few people realize, but there's a bear there as well. See? I think that's the one.
Yeah, it's pretty similar. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I saw it, I was like, that's a Toblerone mountain. I could actually see the bear underneath there. So
And it's probably AI generated, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so they're just gonna put whatever mountain and all that.
I think we need to also look at Trump, the marketer, right? And always remember that there is a marketing since 2016. This man has dominated media globally, should I say, for all intents and purposes. He has stayed relevant in a way that I've seen very few people do that. So the marketer of Trump and this kind of thing, while he is several days away from taking office, generates conversation, generates marketing, and he that's what is going on. Um, and so to the point of our discussion during the week, it is a lighthearted distraction from other things that really are possibly going on. His case is one thing that he cannot really escape. That's a topic that people are still going to talk about. Yeah, apparently he will be the second president with a felony, right? And how will that shape things? But he is a smart marketer and he has taken the attention away from those things. And that's all fine. But I think that that's the Trump position that I think is very important. So
But just to
maybe
your
I'll just
point,
leave it
Marcus, just to your point, I cannot think of any week in Europe where this man was not on the cover, on the headlines of major magazines and news broadcasts on the planet since 2016. Like, I doubt there is any week that went by without him making headlines somewhere. And if he didn't make headlines this week, guess what? He was making 2 or 3 headlines on the following week. So I think you can average out since 2016 to now him being at least once a week in some major news broadcast or some magazine cover or headlines. Jude is not in there because I think he saw that too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're talking about Trump in the headlines, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at least he's in the headlines for some good reasons, I think. It's better to be in that than to be falling off bicycles and wandering off stages and stuff like that. So I'd rather not be in the headlines for that. But on a serious note, I was looking up some research on this. in terms of like for Canada and negotiating power. So some statistics here from a CBC article. The US accounted for 77% of the value of Canada's exports and 63% of its imports in 2023. By contrast, Canada accounted for 17% of the value of US exports and just 13.5% of its imports in the same year. So US definitely has that negotiating power in terms of it can damage, Canada's economy more than the other way around. So I think, yes, it's the art of the deal, as Marcus points out. It's negotiating power, but at the end, it's just like a debt ceiling or anything else. It's just a way to negotiate other things, I think. But the Canada does find itself now with Trudeau stepping down or intending to step down, finds itself in a certain position of even more weakness, I would say, because now it has to contend with a change in leadership and they got to get caught up. So it's not the best time to be renegotiating, NAFTA and all these deals at the moment. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, to me, I cannot deny the admiration that I have for the marketing skills and expertise, plus the negotiation expertise that Donald Trump has, and the ability to be on the headlines and to remain relevant. I mean, we need to understand one thing. When I was growing up, something was news for half year to a year. If something big happened, that would be news for like the whole year we'll be talking about it. I remember when we heard some things when I was growing up. It was this example, the ozone layer. The ozone layer was on the headlines for like 2 years on when I was growing up, but it remained relevant for a very long time. Today,
Yeah.
if you manage to remain relevant for 3 days, you are a hero. I mean, who talks about Ukraine war nowadays? Who talk about a lot of things that has happened, which is drastically significant? But I mean, Venezuela elections yesterday. I think today's 11th. Yeah. So yesterday should be the giving the handling power to the other elected president. It didn't happen, right? And if it doesn't happen in the next 30 days, guess what? The world is going to move on, and no one's going to talk about those things anymore. The same thing with Ukraine. Like Zelensky is trying to remain relevant, and he's not going to become relevant. Gaza and the situation with Israel is becoming irrelevant as time passed by. And I'm telling you, when I was growing up, there was 2 years of ozone layer here, ozone layer there. The subject was relevant for a very long time. Today is like you didn't make for the first 48 hours. Old news, we're moving on. So, and Donald Trump remained relevant since 2016. That is like what we're going to go like to 10 years of this man being relevant, 16 years, because I believe you're going to be relevant until the end of his presidency.
Let me ask you a question. Which presidential or even media company has a slogan that has lasted or made the impact that people are still saying, like MAGA or Make America Great Again, that has
Nah, just do
lasted?
it.
Just do it is on the decline.
Yeah,
So I'm very serious. The slogan is still very relevant to this day.
Yeah, and
yes,
it's being and it's being duplicated in other ways, like make crypto great again or make this great again or whatever. So
make
yeah, it's definitely
Argentina
morphed
great
as well.
again. Make
Exactly.
Argentina great.
Even Tate with the Britain give great again too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he created a meme that's being replicated tremendously. And another thing also, I'm not American, but Marcos have been there. I believe another thing that's happening is we had the reverse, right? And it does not sound controversial, but I really believe, as an outsider, that's my observation. We got the opposite of racism, right? where now if you wear a hat, a MAGA, you're gonna lose your job, you're gonna be attacked, you're gonna like by just wearing a cap, you create a whole ethnical group, so to speak, where if you wear that, you're gonna be treated as, regardless of your descendants, ancestors, whatever, you're gonna be treated as part of one box, you know?
Use the cap.
The cap, yeah, the MAGA cap, Make America Great Again, or MAGA. It's a red cap that if you
Yeah.
wore that, yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and
other
it's made
thing,
in, it's a crypto meme. It's a crypto meme coin as well.
Really, MAGA.
Yeah,
how is it
it's on
doing?
CoinGecko. It's on
Let's
CoinGecko. Yeah, it's doing okay.
Yes. Yeah.
let's see that one. Let's see
I
if I can
haven't.
find.
I may be a shareholder in that that meme token
Shareholders of
out of
nice way of saying it.
out of the interest of full disclosure here.
Yeah.
Look, there's MAGA and MAGA
That
hat.
MAGA hat one, yeah, MAGA hat.
Well, this
You
is
gotta
the
be kidding me.
Yeah, I have that one.
Hey, between this and Flat Earth, that's a nice portfolio to
Put on the max there, Cora. Put on the max. Let's see the max. Okay, it's on decline overall, but
But I have a
yeah.
limit order up at that left high. That see that high on the far left. I
Yeah.
have like a limit take. I have a limit take profit order there. So if it ever gets back there, yeah, I'll take it.
Oh boy. Let's
But
see
yeah,
the MAGA.
there's a few MAGA
Oh,
tokens
MAGA
going on.
Trump is. Oh
There's even
Lord.
and you know about the Trump and Bowden, TREMP, and then they did one for Biden, but it's kept with an O, so Bowden. You know those ones?
No. Oh boy.
Yeah, they have Trent and Bowden.
was this
Crazy.
when the fight the murder attempt, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I can't see. I'm on my phone a bit
Yeah.
small, but yeah.
It's June. It was in June. Yeah, I think it was about that time. Yeah.
About that time, right? That's
Oh
funny.
man, the crypto space is becoming. Oh Lord. We have the MAGA verse as well. All those things are going up 13%. Oh, wait a
Yeah.
minute. This one is doing well.
Magaverse. Yeah,
Yes.
that's a whole nother rabbit hole of meme coins for political stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's pretty new.
But it's going up. I mean,
Yeah.
wow, man. We need to introduce those things to Georgi, our friend, huh?
I was
I
gonna
think
say
meme.
that.
Go ahead,
Go
Cora.
ahead.
No, say
Go
it.
ahead. No, I was gonna change a little bit the topic so you can
No, I'm just
Yeah.
saying how
Yeah,
the
please
meme
change
coin.
MAGA.
I think the world of meme coins is becoming kind of the new social media, you know, like where you create meme coins and you express your opinion by buying those meme coins. You see what I mean? Like you're actually it's a way for you to use your money as a means of expression. That's what I start to see happening with the meme coins. Like, let's buy this meme coin because we agree with Trump or we agree with MAGA or whatever. When I saw the price going up around the assassination attempt time, I was like, it's becoming the new, I would say it's a kind of a research or a pool agency where you find out how much people are on which side based on capital allocation. So you're
Yeah,
literally,
the other
well,
yeah, the point that I was reading, you know, I was catching up on Arthur Hayes, and he had a few points on the meme thing and why it's like strong to a degree, and he has a certain point. I can't remember everything, but he was saying along the likes of a lot of these coins that like I'll say as retail or even crypto savvy investors get into, it's already front run by the Mark Andersons of the world, like these venture capital and all these kind of things. So by the time it hits the market, like there's very few of these like Solana ones where you can get a 50, 100, or I mean, if that, I mean, 100x or something, which is, you know, a great return. But it's like, even if you got into Solana at $10, at right now, you're looking at what, at 300, even you're looking at a 30x return or something. It's already front run to a certain degree. And so he was making the point that these meme coins are like a way for retail to have no, you know, venture capital in it, no front running. They are the ones that are front running themselves. They're like, it's all retail in it. So it's kind of like a native environment, you know, where it's only, you get what I'm saying? So he was making the point where that's the real way where you can get like a 500x, a 1000x, where it's, you know, it's not polluted by these, you know, venture capitalists and stuff.
Wow. Yeah, I think
He had a
meme
bunch
coins.
of, he had a bunch of, sorry, he had a bunch of math. I'll just say he had a bunch of math on one of his blogs on it. I can pull it up another time, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just start to see that this bull run is going to be determined tremendous. It's going to be a good time for meme coins. I remember we had the ICOs in 2017. That was the main team for the 2017 bull run. Then 2020, we had the NFT. That was the main thing about the bull run. And I think now in this bull market, we may have the meme coin season.
I think the
So,
meme coin season is a next step. So as far as like how Ivan on Tech and some others have described it, it typically, again, who knows if history will repeat itself, but typically it's been Bitcoin goes up, people sell off, they take their money, they put it into alts, they take their alts have a run, they sell, take their money, and then it goes into memes, and then rinse and repeat back to Bitcoin. And so that's the life cycle of crypto, generally
well,
speaking. So I think the memes, if there is a season, it'll be after the alts of the world take their profit. Like I think still a lot of people I think a lot of people have taken profit, but still there's a lot more to go as far as the XRP fanboys, the XLM fanboys, the ETH, Solana, and all these other coins. People still are looking at, if we really do get an alt run, meaning when Bitcoin dominance drops and all this kind of stuff, then, you know, they'll take their profit and then they can put it into the meme coin kind of thing.
yeah. But I remember, according to Mike Saylor, 40% dominance, 50% of the dominance, that is a lie. That's a joke, right? Those are the words of Mike Saylor. Uh, so I think we covered the part about Donald Trump. Um,
I
Also,
just
Marcos, you want
I just wanted to say something, sorry to interrupt you. Like
go ahead.
you did talk about Greenland. Dominica made a comment on YouTube that she doesn't believe that Canada is gonna be part of the US, but maybe Greenland could be.
It's much harder for Greenland to be than it is for the US, for Canada. Um, Greenland is part of Denmark, if I'm not mistaken. Greenland is not even a sovereign country themselves.
Yeah,
If I'm mistaken, they're part of Denmark. And
yeah, I
I don't
believe
see
it.
Denmark giving that because there's a lot of resources on Greenland. Go ahead, what's your knowledge on that?
No, I just say yes, that's correct. As far as, because we have that mutual friend, shall we say, that is Denmark,
Yes.
and yeah, so I was reading up on before on things, and yeah, Greenland is, yeah, defended by them and such. You're correct.
And Greenland has a lot of resources. There's a lot of like natural resources in Greenland. And for Denmark to give up Greenland, that would damage their economy tremendously because it is like, it's like, for instance, let's say Russia giving the main source of natural gas to another country. That's pretty much what's going to happen. Let me see here if I can figure out what are the natural resources in Greenland, because I know there's a lot of resources which kind of sustain significantly the economy of Denmark. Let me see here.
It says here gold, silver, copper, lead,
Yeah,
zinc, graphite.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just reading, I'm just trying to do some research on the fly here, but it says, while many Greenlanders dream of independence from Denmark, the king remains popular on the island, having spent extended periods there, including a 4-month expedition on the ice sheet. Last month, the royal court modified its coat of arms, enlarging a polar bear that symbolizes Greenland. So,
Oh yeah, there was this change on the coat of arms of Greenland. You can get the image of that, George. I saw that part as well.
yeah, I don't have the image on me. I didn't see it, but
Yeah, can you let me look for it here. I think we have that here. Greenland coat of arms.
this article is dated January 9th, 2025. So yeah, just a few days ago from Reuters.
No, not Greenland. It's Denmark that is changing their coat of arms. Hold on. Because the
Yeah,
one
yeah, I'm
from
just
Greenland is
saying
just a
that.
bear. Yeah. No, I'm looking for the other
Yeah,
one.
yeah, the Denmark. Yeah, you can check what the latest one is.
Because the Greenland is just a bear. So here. I
But
got it here.
but do you see the reading between the lines? Like what Trump has done is basically made Greenland and Denmark talk to each other a little bit more. So it's a positive thing in the end.
I have it here. I think I got it. Where's my image? Dun, 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 dun. Not here. I must say, as much as I like the Go, I can see why people use Google sometimes. Okay, I got it.
I recommend a start page for anonymous searches.
Yeah. So I think I got it here. So the coat of arms for Greenland is just a bear. Maybe we can show that to you guys too. So the change has been this one. You can see here how was it before and how is it now. Okay, so they gave more significance to the bear. Now, if you look at the coat of arms for Greenland, it's just a bear. You see here?
Yeah.
So this is a coat of arms from Greenland. And if you look how it was before was a small bear and a rams here, and all else was pretty much Denmark. Now what they did is they put twice Denmark and the ram and give more significance to the bear. So that's
So
the change that was occurred.
you're fact checking me and Reuters.
No, I'm just fact checking. I have seen this when it occurred, but yeah.
I know,
So most people
just
not
playing around.
realize, yeah, most people not realize why the larger bear, but it's because Greenland is the biggest bear. I mean, the only bear on the
Now,
coat of arms.
when did they make that change? Was it before or after Trump said something?
Let me see here.
I wonder when he made this change.
Is that like December 20th? I thought it said there.
Yes, so, yeah, December 20th of December 2024.
Okay. Okay. So it predates Trump then, right? Or not?
Yeah. Depends. In terms of headlines, yes. If there was some conversation before, we don't know. So, but it predates Trump.
Yeah, but still, it was not so long ago. So it makes sense that, like what you're saying about, as far as we know,
Okay.
before.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about Andrew Tate now?
Yeah, I think we can
Oh
go to
boy.
annotate. But I also want to say,
Okay.
reemphasize, like to wrap it up, the thing on Trump. I think let's wrap it up. I think was a troll, and people start to take seriously, and they just double down, so they continue to be relevant and being talked about. And I think another thing that they're getting from this is all this fuzz, and then eventually everyone is wrong because that was not their intention in the first place. But I also think, based on Wes, this week when we talk about it, maybe it's just a distraction. Let's keep them distracted with this while we do something else, right? There's also that element of divide and conquer. I think it's very divisive. I can kind of guess and think that maybe, just maybe, based on mathematical numbers, there should be a small group in Canada that maybe thinks it's best that Canada becomes part of the US, just for the hell of it. I saw this playing out on UK when there was the Brexit, and the Scottish people took whatever position was English, the English position. So if the English position did not want the Brexit to occur, the Scottish people would be full on opposing the English. Whenever the English change their view, the Scottish would change their view because Scotland also wants to be separated from the UK. And they were just like, whatever they do, we do the opposite. That way we have a leverage. So I wouldn't be surprised that there may be some individuals in Canada now thinking, let's create a political party and promote Canada being part of the US and like create all this fuss, divide and conquer. I think they're just trolling and making jokes and see what sticks. If it sticks, we get benefits anyway. That's my view on this. Now, Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is trying to become the next prime minister of the UK. And here's the thing: his main, I would say, plan is, or his main speech is Bitcoin reserves for the UK. I can see the crypto people, the Bitcoin people in UK saying, wow, having him as a prime minister is better for cryptocurrencies. If you're in the UK and you're into crypto, if you compare your position with someone who's in Portugal, someone who's in the UAE, someone who's in some other country, even Mexico, you're having a horrible time. I remember because I have some UK clients. UK is not a very friendly country when it comes to cryptocurrencies. The banks don't let you buy crypto. So I can see some crypto people like, yes, we need Andrew Tate. And when I heard him speaking, I thought he was very rational about it because he's not planning to become the prime minister in the next year or two. He said very clearly, he still have 50 years on him. And at some point on that time, he will become the next prime minister. So he is for the long term. And the beautiful thing is he doesn't need someone else to sponsor his campaign. Now, I can see some wealthy people backing him up because one, he's an entrepreneur. Regulations for an entrepreneur businesses are going to change if he becomes a prime minister. So for capitalism, that is a move in the right direction. I can see Elon Musk or someone like Elon Musk saying, listen, we're backing you up. Let's take this seriously. And the same way Elon Musk back up Donald Trump, I think there'll be some people backing up Andrew Tate. Now, what I want to say about Andrew Tate that may be controversial, most people only hear him talking about his view on feminism, women, he's a misogynist guy, blah, blah, blah. Now, I have listened to more than 50 hours of Andrew Tate videos and podcasts and so on, interviews. And just yesterday, I went to revisit a video where he's talking about geopolitics, and you saw, Cora, it was taken down. I sent you the link, and the videos are not there. So YouTube somehow is only keeping the videos alive, the ones that paint him as a misogynist guy. He's very well read. He's very knowledgeable on geopolitics. He's incredibly intelligent. His father was an international master of chess. Andrew Tate himself is a great player of chess. I'm not sure where he rates, but I have seen people make interviews with him and playing chess with him, including Piers Morgan, and they lost. I haven't seen him losing one game with anyone that challenged him on camera. So, and I don't believe he is misogynist. His ideas, he expressing with a tone of sarcasm to get more clicks and to get more controversy. But in essence, if you go back 60, 70 years ago, what he's discussing was the norm. Man to be responsible for a woman to be playing the traditional role of the gender roles. All of this was true 100 years ago. You cannot go 100 years ago and see this guy being wrong. Everyone's going to be applauding him 100 years ago. And when it comes to feminism, I have my own criticism on feminism. And I am yet to find, like, here's the thing, when you say something online, it's very easy to pick up anyone, any person, and misquote them. I have received a print screen on our group on how the Quran speaks about violence, right? There are like 10 lines. Now, for people who don't read the Quran, they can just read that and they can just go to the Quran and see that's what this verse say. But let's read what is being said above that. Let's read what else is being said below that. And it's very different. So that is the biggest issue today. We want clicks, we want clickbaits, we want people to view our videos. We are not interested in reporting something that is truthful. People just want to be sensational. And I see this display on my life. I go to meet with people, we start to have a conversation. They say one sentence that is a knockout for most people. And if you want to move the discussion to any more depth, they are not willing to discuss that. They want to say the punchline and be right. Now, this is very negative. And I think that's where most people like are having the perspective of Andrew Tate, which is not truthful. I remember when he got arrested, I investigate 15 hours of him, and I'm like, I think he's innocent. I think he's innocent. I don't see him capable of doing these things. Now, they put him in jail for about 90 days. They called 2,000 people to try to incriminate him. They don't count that 2,000 women came saying, listen, I know him. He wouldn't do this. They're not counting the ones that are claiming they're innocent. I saw Piers interviewing him and generalizing his tweets. He makes a lot of tweets criticizing guys. No interviewer goes to him and says, listen, you say this about men. No, you say this about women. Why? Because if he criticizes women and we can put him as a misogynist, it is great. If you read what he says about men, he trashes men a lot more than he trashes women, but no one talks about that. Why? Because it doesn't give you the clicks. He talks about geopolitical things, but doesn't give you the click. Even the videos where he talks about geopolitical matters are being taken down from YouTube. And we are in this moment in history where we are very quick to judge, very quick to sensationalize and demonize people, and very slow to try to understand anything. And we can see this with the Ukraine conflict, right? And Andrew Tate says something which I find very incredible. And I'm going to say here, it's going to sound controversial. If Russia, okay, if Russia would do to Ukraine what Israel is doing to Gaza, NATO would be inside Russia right now. NATO would be invading Russia right now. We would not advocate for Russia to do to Ukraine what Israel is doing to Gaza. Russia is stronger than Ukraine. Israel is stronger than Palestinians. So just as an example, we have this tendency to pick one side of the matter and make that be black and white. If you don't say that Palestinians are evil or Hamas, you are wrong. You are this and this and this. If you don't say this and this, you are like, and we are not interested in understanding and bringing peace. We cannot have peace without understanding. As long as we demonize one side and make angels the other side, we are not going to find a solution to any conflict on the planet, not even conflict among ourselves as human beings. If someone is want to take something that I say to them and say, oh, but Booth say this to me, and then just demonize me, that's the end. Let's find the context. Why did I say what I say? What triggered me? Because one thing I know since I'm a kid, I have this argument. Nobody, historically speaking, nobody is falling asleep, wakes up in the morning and says, oh, let me bomb those guys there. I have nothing else to do in my life. It doesn't happen like it doesn't happen like that. There are things that happen. There is a degree of provocation until things explode, and that provocation comes when we stop talking. And when it comes to the Middle East conflict, we need to come in willing to put 1,000 hours into understanding before having an opinion, because it's a very complex situation. Same thing for Ukraine and Russia. Put 100 hours looking for understanding before you formulate your opinion and feel like you have something to say.
You mentioned that you, I think, watch a video or met a person, I don't remember, that was Palestinian and was inside the Israeli army, I think,
Yeah,
and he's to understand like what's going on.
yeah. I saw this guy. So his father was a great chief of the Hamas, right? He was in a high position of leadership in Hamas. So he's born in Gaza, Palestine, son of the biggest leader of Hamas, right? Then he got captured by the Jewish forces, went to prison, escaped, went back to Hamas, got captured again, started to work, started to be a spy for the Israeli forces, providing information to Hamas. On that process, he became part of the Israeli forces, let go of Hamas. His family broke up with him. Today, he's part of the Israeli defense. And when people ask him about the conflict, he said very clearly, the issue that we have in Palestine is that all countries in the world, they want to come here with a solution. They come with engineer mind. There's a problem, let's bring the solution. They don't come here looking for understanding. And he says, I was raised by the biggest leader of Hamas. Today, I'm still a Muslim, but I work for the Israeli forces. I don't have enough information to understand or to propose a solution. I still need to understand more of this conflict. Now, people coming from other country with this arrogant engineer view, let's bring our solution. As long as that is the approach, there's no solution. Because people come here with their solution after seeing 30 seconds, 2 minutes of something on the conflict and formulating their ideas, and they have zero understanding of the real situation here. And they say, I don't have enough understanding to propose a solution. I need more understanding. That to me was very humbling. We need more understanding. And we need to understand that the narrative of this is a devilish person, this is a devilish regime, and we are the angels, that only works to get soldiers to war. If you're not at war as a soldier, you should have a political view. Now, what I mean by political view? A political approach is the opposite of violence. A political approach is the approach of let's talk, let's come to understanding. When politics fail, we have violence. If you're not a soldier, you should have a political view. And the political view is, do I have enough information on this? Should I understand this? Because one thing I'm going to say, what happened October 7 is horrible. But what happened before October 7? Why did we have October 7? What triggered October 7? What motivated those people to October 7? All of this is not being discussed. It's just that Hamas did this, they're devil, let's kill them. Wait a minute. This type of attitude is only going to radicalize more the space, and it's only going to make situations worse.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you this. I don't know if you saw it. Like Trump shared a video.
Criticizing. Yeah.
Well, he's not directly saying that. It's some, you can see here, it's someone else that is saying that Netanyahu is obsessive. But still, he shared this video on his social media. And I don't know, I think it's like you're
Yeah.
saying, like, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Cora.
And is it just a coincidence that two of his psychologists have committed suicide as well? Just as a side note.
Who's that called?
Netanyahu.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
He had
At
two
least one.
psychologists.
I think the first one for sure committed suicide, and then the second one, I think he had a second one as well, if I'm not mistaken. You can fact check me on that. But yeah. But that's just a coincidence.
The thing, what happens in this conflict that I see is, and it's going to sound controversial, but I honestly believe this. Israel, Netanyahu had, in my view, an teenage emotional response. I will explain to what I mean by that. October 7 happened. Okay, there was no attempt of dialogue. There was even the guy that I admire tremendously, Jordan Peterson, say, "Give them hell." How can you say that? How can you say give these people hell? How can you wish hell upon human beings? Like, who are you to sentence people to hell? Are you God? That is one thing that the Jordan Peterson posted. I'm like, who is this guy? How arrogant you have to be to say, give these people hell, wish hell upon another human being. Who are you to wish hell on another human being? Netanyahu, in my view, in this conflict, there was no attempt to say, listen, this happened. Let's secure our borders. Let's secure things. Let's find out what happened and what is the best response. No, it was just response, blah, 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 like very reactive. I didn't see any reasonable like response. Like, no, wait a minute. Let's take 5 days. Let's calm down our bloods. Let's come up with it was just like immediate reaction. And I'm not sure if that's going to produce the best results. I am not sure that's the leader I want to have ruling my country. Something happened. Let's react immediately. I'm not sure if that is the best response or the most mature response of a leader. I would say thinking, trying to dialogue, trying to figure out what happened, having a full access to the situation is a reasonable approach. The second thing that I find incredibly wrong, we live in a democratic system. Now, the intelligence service, only Israel can do this. The intelligence service thinks that this person is a terrorist. This person enters into a building. There's other 500 people in the building. Let's explode the whole building. There was no court of law. There was no proof that the guy was a terrorist. There was no judicial system. No, we are the authority. We suspect this person to be a terrorist. That gives us full permission to destroy the entire building, killing a lot of civilians, and everything is okay. That's going to bring more radicalization to the whole situation. There's going to be 3, 4, 5 Hamas, much more intense, with much more anger, with much more vindictive feelings towards Israel with this reaction. That's my view. So, and again, I'm not saying they don't have the right to defend themselves. I just don't think October 7 comes out of nowhere. And I don't think this kind of action is going to de-radicalize the situation. And as I mentioned my prediction in the past, I don't think Israel is going to listen to the US request to not wage war with Iran. We're going to have a war with Iran in terms of Israel having a direct war with Iran. And that's going to be really bad for the economy. It's going to be bad for the world. I understand the reason why Israel is doing it. I understand the motivation, but the consequences are still, regardless of understanding, is going to be the same.
So, Andrew Tate.
Yes.
No, but I understand this also. I was thinking, right, like we were still like in the topic of Andrew Tate.
Mm-hmm.
He also have some pretty like extreme things that I think a lot of people could agree with, but it's also like, you know, with some crimes, just people won't be able to get out, or almost like a death sentence, or you know what I mean?
Okay, so on UK, right? You on the trade talking about UK. He made a video talking about everything being worse on UK. The economy, and I think we posted some of that here on our channel, right?
Yeah,
The
it's
economy. There's one thing I must say about the UAE, Qatar, and maybe Bahrain, right? There's one thing I can say about those Middle Eastern countries. Andrew Tate is a Muslim, so am I. No secret here. Now, doesn't mean I wish for the destruction of Israel. No, I had Jewish friends. I was just with a Jewish friend last week. I don't want anyone to die. I don't want the death of civilians. I don't wish that. Now, on Andrew Tate, it's incredible. You can drive your Ferrari in Dubai, leave the key in the ignition, park your Ferrari, no one's gonna take it from you. You can take your iPhone, your computer, you can take your gold chain, live on a bench, go for a run, anywhere in Dubai, you come back, your things are there. You can't walk with a Rolex in London without the risk of being robbed. The basic thing that a government has to offer to people is safety. I don't feel safe walking on the streets of London. I feel very safe walking anywhere in Dubai. Now, it's a Muslim country. And to me, the reason is we have created a system on the West where criminals they're ill people. It's just a disease, you know? It's not a lack of character. Like, I can't believe on the word kleptomania. I can't believe that. Oh, what is it? No, this person has a psychological thing, you know? They cannot, they have to take things from other people. Try to be kleptomaniac in Dubai. Go with that. Just go to Dubai and exercise your disease. Oh, but I'm sick. Your kleptomania is healed in Dubai. I was I think my camera overheated. Let me change my camera.
Yeah, I think some fingers will get chopped off or some hands. I think, what was it? Like I heard something in Iraq, if you steal, you get the hand chopped off. The other part while we're waiting for Booth to come back is I think the thing is with this Andrew Tate and others, I don't know exactly what to believe anymore, because whether is it being done for clicks and making money and making controversy and creating conversation, or is it really his view? I don't know.
sorry, his view on what now?
On whatever it is, whatever his views and opinions are. I don't know whether what he's saying is his view or whether it's done to create clicks and controversy and everything. It's just for that. Like sometimes I say stuff on the clubhouse room that, of course, it's not my view. It's not what I personally believe. But and Wes does the same thing. He says stuff that he doesn't necessarily believe in, but he's doing it to provide that devil's advocate, that other opinion, as am I, and then people can, get sucked into to that and respond accordingly. So I'm not sure what to take from Andrew Tate exactly. It's hard for me to discern truth from, marketing almost.
Yeah, I think there is, I would say 80% of what he says he believes, but he tries to say in a way that is more provocative, right? So I'm going to give an example, which he say himself. Instead of saying like men are biologically stronger than women, he just say women are weak, right? He doesn't specify physically weak or whatever, and then as you engage, then he can expand on this. So, but obviously, when you call women weak, you get more controversy and more clicks than if you say, listen, biologically speaking, a masculine body, like 8 out of 10 times, where is most likely to be stronger than a female body. That's just a biological fact, right? Instead of saying that, you get more clickbait by saying women are weak. So I think he says things in a sensationalistic way to get clickbait, but in essence, I believe he really believes most of what is posted. But I also think a lot of things is taken out of context, and I also think it is generalized. I never saw an interviewer saying to him, "Listen, look what you say about men. You say this and this about men, and you call this guy a stupid, blah blah blah, lazy." People don't come with what he says to men negative. It's only when he say about women, that that interviews go in and talk like we can't talk. And I think it's like we are coming to a world. I think Andrew Tate made us realize we are in a world where there are certain rules, right? I was listening to Chappelle a few weeks ago, and Chappelle said you can never say anything that upsets the T's, right? We have the L, the G's, and the B's, but if you upset the T's, you're out of business, right? And I think we are coming to a space and time where we cannot criticize women. Women have become a species that cannot be criticized. We can criticize men all we want, and we see this on cartoons and movies and in media. Look at The Simpsons. That is literally the ridiculization and the humiliation of masculinity. Simpson is a stupid man, and the woman is the genius, the woman is the solution. Make a cartoon with the roles reversed. Make a cartoon where the man is the thing, the man is the smart guy, and the woman is the fool. What's going to happen to you?
Yeah, the other thing I was reading, I don't know how true this is, but I was watching a video. I was trying to find it when you guys were talking earlier. I couldn't find it. I think I have it on my computer. But the whole feminist movement of the 60s, this guy was being interviewed, and he was saying he talked to the Rothschild guy directly. And he was saying the Rothschild like funded and engineered the feminist movement back in the day as a way to say, hey, how do we tax the other half of the economy? Because the other half is at home, taking care of the kids. And how do we get, the kids into public school because they can be educated at home by mom, self-educated with the dad bringing home the paycheck. And that's when they're saying the theory is that the Rothschild funded the feminist movement to get them into the workforce and get kids into the public school as a bonus, because now they can't stay at home and learn by themselves. They're going to need to go to a school, which of course will be a government school where they can control, the narrative. And so you get double. You get the tax money from the female, part, and then you get the indoctrination through public schools. So I don't know, that's what I was reading from this guy who supposedly talked directly to the Rothschild. So whether I
Yeah.
don't know how much truth or
But even if it wasn't a Rothschild, there is an agenda because how you explain to me that 100 years ago, homeschooling was pretty much the norm. 200 years ago, it was even more normal. And now, when a human being say, "Listen, I don't want to send my child to the public school. I want to educate that the education of my child is my responsibility," that person becomes a devil. Like,
yeah, and I bring
oh,
it and I bring it up in the sense, in the context of linking it to the Andrew Tate and these kind of talks about he's a misogynist and all this kind of stuff, but it goes, I think they line up together in terms of, empowering females and Men should be strong and this and that. And that's how the roles were not that long ago. So I think that's where we need to remind ourselves about history and how really bad was that setup. I think a lot of people dream of that, to have, hey, you know what? I wish my wife could stay at home, take care of the kids. But unfortunately, the way that the system is we need two salaries now, so yeah.
Yeah, I can tell one thing. I know a lot of women who have zero problems being taken care by their man, staying at home, looking pretty and dandy, taking care of the kids, and have nothing to worry about the workforce. I know a few women that like, well, that's what I want. There was even was an Instagram post, the girl like, do I want to? What is
Yeah,
that?
Instagram post. I will have to research it. It's
Yeah,
very good.
yeah. So I saw this post on Instagram where the woman say like, listen, yes, I can go and I can work, I can pay for my rent. But do I want to? This was a woman saying, right? Yes, I can do this, I can pay my taxes, I can do all this. Do I want to? No, I want a man to open the door for me. I want a man to pay for my beauty salon. I want to stay at home and look pretty. So, and to say that today, and that interview was misogynist, I think back to Andrew Tate thing, I think if he comes to become a prime minister of UK, UK is going to be a better place. And I was looking at the example of Dubai, right? Three or four or five Nigerians came to Dubai. They explode an ATM. They got the money. A week later, they are all captured by the police. They're not in jail. They're killed. The bill for the bullet, the working time of the executioner, all of those bills are sent to the family to pay. Are you not going to pay? Get out of my country and never come back. Question: how many more ATMs got exploded in Dubai after that? Do that in UK. Do that in California. You rob something, come here, you go to jail. You cannot pay for what you stole. You have 30 days. You are dead. How many people in California are going to be robbing things? How many people are going to be
And
breaking?
Booth,
What?
you saw the video of them going through the stores with bicycles and putting items on the front in California.
No, but I'm not surprised. You endorse, right? Another thing is going to sound very controversial that I love about the UAE. They do not endorse poverty. You are poor, get out. You're poor, your business went bankrupt, get out of my country. Find poor people in Dubai. Go there and find beggars on the street. Find someone vandalizing with spray some wall. Go find that there. Find kleptomaniacs in Dubai. Find. I can guarantee you there's none. We on the West have endorsed things that we know are wrong because it's all about being a victim. And that's what I like about Bitcoin. There's no victims, only sovereign people. You're not sovereign, you're not capable of taking care of your money. Goodbye, it's not for you. On a weekly basis, I receive calls from people who got hacked or whatever. They don't want to be in the crypto anymore. This is not a space for weak people. This is a space for strong, sovereign people. You cannot take care of your money, get out. And I think with Andrew Tate coming to the UK, I think crime is going to diminish. There are counties in UK going bankrupt because they're trying to compensate for the pay gap, which is again is another fallacy. Because what happened is 80% of professors are female, 80% of nurses are female, and all those are paid by the state. Now the state is imposing no like zero, even in the pay gap. Those counties are going broke because of these approaches. The private sector, they just like, okay, you want pay gap? Get out. I hire men, no problem. The moment now the public sector cannot say we want right 50% of our professors should be men and 50% should be women. No, 80% are women of teachers and nurses. Another thing about the pay gap, I never heard a model saying, I never heard Gisele Bündchen say, oh, I get too much pay, too much more pay than men, lower my salary and pay those people. On the female modeling industry, women get paid more than model guys. When is feminists ever saying, let's level the playing field on the modeling business? They don't want that. They don't want 50% of the bricklayers to be women. They don't want 50% of the garbage people to be women. They don't want 50% of the people who clean the sewer system in the country to be women. They don't want 50% of the people going to war being women. They don't want that. They want 50% on the privileged thing. And I think this is going to be taking
Maybe
society down.
CEOs, leaders
Huh?
in companies. They want to be
Yeah.
CEOs, leaders in companies. That is what
Yeah.
they really
That's what they want. Yeah.
but not to build houses and you know
No.
be under the sun and carrying on
Hey,
heavy stuff.
Cora, play the video I just sent you.
1 second. I also found the but do I want to video?
Yeah, put it there. Put it there. Play those two so that people can see. Andrew Tate is not wrong, and I can tell you, this woman would vote for Andrew Tate if she was in case citizen and capable. Go ahead.
So this is the video that Joshua wants to play.
Play it. Play it.
Wow.
They cannot do anything. The
It
moment
was
you
stuttering a
violate,
bit. Was it stuttering for you too?
no, to me it was okay, but to me, like,
Oh.
you violate private property, my friend, and your society goes to the trash. And again, that's why Bitcoin to me is the greatest manifestation of property. No one can control it. That cannot happen. Go ahead, Cora. Play your I want to.
Okay. So it's on the topic of Andrew Tate and women, men.
Yeah. And another thing, I do understand, I said about voting, but one thing I need to say as well, I do know that the prime minister is not elected, okay? It's not by direct vote. But go ahead, Cora.
Truth of the matter is that, am I good at being independent? Yes. Do I want to be? No. I just think of all the times that I'm like building furniture and providing for myself and doing all of this and like, that's great. And I love it. She's capable. She can. She's willing and she can. But do I want to? No. I don't want to open any more doors on my own. I don't want to hang any more TVs on my own. Can I? Yes, and I will if I must. But do I want to? I want a tall, handsome man to open my doors for me. I want a handsome man to hang my TVs. I want a handsome man to help me with my taxes because I am barely hanging on trying to do this whole independence by myself as a woman. I can't. Truth of the matter is that
That's the truth. Oh. It's against biology. This idea of independent woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
An
Yeah,
independent woman needs no man. And a man who is you cannot be dependent on is not a man. So one will be independent, not two. Two independent people do not need each other.
yeah. I have to say that I've had this conversation with many women or friends, also friends, and also just people in general with some. And there's always the same conclusion. This video is always the answer, you know, like I can't do it, but that's not really what makes me happy, you know?
Yeah. So I think Andrew Tate, as a prime minister, as a leader of any nation, that nation will be better. This Western view of an assault on the nuclear family, this assault on masculinity, this assault on femininity, because women can no longer be feminine, all of this is going down the drain. And again, Bitcoin is one thing that makes you more traditional and more conservative very, very quickly. You start to understand the importance of private property. You start to see how Bitcoin is the greatest manifestation of property. You start to question money. You start to question a lot of things when you get exposed to BTC. Most Bitcoiners that I do know, they start to understand how these anti-traditional views are negative, are incredibly negative and destroying society. I'm yet to find a Bitcoiner that is like, oh, I am more liberal now, I am more feminist now, I am more this now. No, once you start to deal with property, see the importance of private property, and start to see all the damage that government and politics and the Western views have caused to the planet, because you see that by being exposed to something that is pure manifestation of private property, BTC, the best manifestation of property. You will start to question your food. You start to question your appearance, the way you treat yourself. All of those questions come to mind once you start to become responsible and independent financially. So, no, it doesn't work. What do you say, Juche?
Yeah, you reminding me of exercise, because like once you start to exercise, like when I was doing it with doing the Muay Thai and other boxing and stuff, once you start to exercise, then you start, you know what, should I be eating this? Do I need to eat this? Is this healthy for me? And is this gonna continue my goals of muscle and being healthy and stuff? And it's a mindset shift, basically it. So yeah. In other news, I was just refreshing my RT news feed and something maybe you might find hilarious or something. The headline is Bulgarian party leader claims Ukrainian territory. Says Ukraine is falling apart and Sofia has a historical right to the southern part of the country, Konstantin Kostadinov says, part of the far-right Eurosceptic revival party. He says Bulgaria has every right to claim a part of southern Ukraine, which it has century-old ties. So interesting. It looks like, says he wrote on Facebook and stuff, these remarks. So thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, he's saying, it says in there, Ukraine's region of southern Bessarabia, a part of Odessa region today, belonged to the Bulgarian state for over 450 years, while Kiev has only controlled it for 34. He claimed that ethnic Bulgarians make up the majority of the southern Bessarabia's population. So I think Ukraine has another enemy on its hands.
Well, I don't think that conflict is going to happen. I don't see Bulgaria with the ability to challenge Ukraine, although Ukraine is like pretty much falling to pieces. It's a dysfunctional state, and I don't mean this as an insult. I mean this as a diagnose. By every single metric, the UK is totally a dysfunctional state today. The basic metric that I do use is democracy. If you cannot conduct election in your country, you're no longer a democracy. So Zelensky could not perform election in his country. Russia is also in conflict. They did have elections. You can say whatever, pull the numbers, like magic numbers, pull from the hat, whatever. They did have the elections. The first step to dictatorship is to call for a martial law. And then the longer that martial law is there, the more by default that system becomes. Ukraine is on martial law for about 2 years now, and I doubt that Zelensky knows how to be a leader of a country that is not on martial law. martial law should be live very, very short life, should be very spot moments in history. It should never drag for years. So once it starts to drag for years, it's very difficult to reverse. You can see North Korea for that. You can see the other dictatorships. They use the same thing. They use the martial law, and they keep on dragging until the population doesn't know any different. So I think with this we come to the conclusion, Cora, of the discussion for today for the live.
Good conversation. I think,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that so the conclusion is there's a misunderstanding with Trump and you like Andrew Tate.
I think Andrew Tate is the most misunderstood person on the planet. And I feel a pity that they're taking down, like I say, those videos where he. What is BRB, Marcus?
Be right back, maybe.
Yeah. So I think Andrew Tate is incredibly misunderstood. I must admit, when I first was exposed to him, I had a very negative view of him. And then I started looking more. After 15, 20 hours, I was like, okay, there's some sense to what this guy is saying. And I put another 15, 20 hours when he got arrested, and I was like, I don't think he's guilty. I really don't. I think he went to jail because of his influence and his power. There are thousands, and I'm not making this up. There are thousands of webcam business in Romania. Thousands. Hundreds just in Bucharest. We never heard of those guys going to jail. We never heard of those guys on the media. Why?
He has power, influence, that's it.
There's a whole YouTube documentary on that one I saw.
Yeah. On what? How many webcam businesses are there?
Yeah, on the whole business and how they interviewed all kinds of people on that and stuff like that. Yeah. There's a whole documentary on there on YouTube if people are interested in it.
I'd like to see that. So
you can send it to me. I'm gonna put it in the description.
Yeah.
Anybody
So and here's the thing. It's gonna sound even more controversial. I was raised surrounded by sex workers. My father was involved with them all the time. Whenever I spent time with my dad, I would be surrounded by sex workers. So I met a lot of owners of sex houses. Let's put it in this manner. And one of the guys is, I think he's still alive. We spoke a few years ago. He's still a very good friend of the family. I met literally dozens of sex workers that work for this guy. All of them treat him like a father. All of them like, whoa, he's a father to us. He's a great man to us. Like, so.
I mean, we can get to. I mean, this is so controversial that this that you said could be taken like manipulation.
Yeah.
Like, because that's what they say about him. Like, they liked him that much because he was manipulating them. And they are victims.
Everybody manipulates everybody. There's no one single human being that does not manipulate another human being. I'll repeat that if in case you haven't heard. Every single human being manipulates another human being. Every human being would like for the human being next to them to be a little bit more like them. Every human being that I know wants to be liked and admired and appreciated by other people. We're all manipulating everyone. The question is, what are the outcome of that manipulation? Your teachers in school are manipulating you. Look why we have all this wave of Marxists on the planet, because teachers are manipulating their students. Everybody manipulates everybody. The question you're going to ask yourself is, what are the results of the manipulation? I'm going to give an example to you. I have a brother. Everyone who meets my brother becomes Not everyone, but everyone who is influenced by him heavily and managed to be manipulated by him, which is the majority of people. Everyone that interacts with my brother, and my brother becomes a heavy drinker and a cocaine addict. Because that's what my brother does. My brother enjoys cocaine and my brother enjoys alcohol. And he enjoys lying. So people that spend time with him and admire him, they become heavy drinkers, cocaine addicts, and liars. Now, no one can interact with me and say, oh, I spent so much time with Booth, I'm now addicted to cocaine. I don't do that. That is not the influence I have. That's not the manipulation I have to offer. If people spend time with me, they're going to read more books because that's what I motivate people to do. They're going to become more conscious of money. That's my manipulation. We are all manipulating each other because we are
We
all
give
influencing each other. Sorry, go
and we,
ahead.
and we give people what we have. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
And also I was gonna say that even babies manipulate, even kids,
Yeah.
even yeah.
Humans are designed to manipulate. I'm going to go even further. Fetus manipulate as well. I remember when my aunt, she loved me. My aunt, she loved me. The day she got pregnant, she started to hate my guts.
Oh boy.
Well,
If if I take
that's another level.
if I if I
It's
take
like
a
what?
5 or 10 minute walk down the street here, oh my God, you'll see the sex workers. You could call it the bar life.
Everybody manipulates everybody. There is not one single human being that is not manipulating another human being. There is not one single human being that is not a salesman or saleswoman, whatever you want to call it. There is not one single human being that is not a marketeer. The question is how good you do it and what are the outcome of that. But we're all manipulating each other. We are all influencing each other. We are all trying to pass a little bit of us to the person next to us.
Well, with that
Yeah,
conclusion,
Well, go ahead, JJ.
something.
What?
I was gonna say I just posted the link in the Signal group. It was done by the Australian TV channel SBS. So it's SBS Dateline, and it's Inside Romania's sex scam industry. Full episodes on YouTube from 7 months ago. So I just posted that 30 minutes. Go
Go ahead,
ahead.
Cora.
Mhm.
Based on that manipulation?
It's already on the description. No, that based on this thing that you're mentioning, also like you say, I don't do it like Wes, but being the devil's advocate, I mean, the conclusion is, well, he manipulates them so they are working as, sex providers for him. That's the other conclusion they can say. Like
Yeah,
this is the result of his manipulation.
but here's the thing that people don't know about sex workers. I never saw an independent sex worker. I never did. I haven't not interact with sex cam workers, but I never met an independent sex worker. And I'm going to explain to you why. Because, like I say, my father was always around sex workers. My brothers and I'm a son of a prostitute. I have no problem admitting that. And the reason is the following: women are receptive, more receptive than men, but they don't deal with rejection as well as men. Men goes to 20 women per day and get rejected, and they're laughing. A woman gets rejected by one single man, and she goes berserk. It affects her emotionally. In the sex industry, let's say webcam, and I'm just imagining this. You're gonna go there, some people are gonna be nasty to you. That is gonna be internalized by you. You criticize a man, you tell men whatever, he shrug. Men fight each other. 5 minutes later, they're having beer together. We are not receptors, we are senders. Women are receptors. They receive that criticism, and that dwells in their mind for days. They're emotionally disturbed. They need someone to comfort them, to make them feel more confident, to make them feel better. That is just biology. I'm not trying to put one superior to another.
I saw
And you saw what?
like apparently the girls that decided to work on their own, they were not doing so good, and some of them came back because he helps them mentally,
Yeah.
or he was helping them.
Yeah. So a woman needs someone to boost their confidence, to make them go through this and to help them handle this. They need that. It's a biological thing, right? The same way we need comforting, we need a clean house, we need to feel peace at home as men. Women need that emotional comfort, that emotional booster. And like you say, I'm not surprised. Women would leave and they cannot manage themselves on their own. They're going to make less money. So who is working for who? Because if I manage to increase your pay, I'm working for you.
Yeah, he was like providing a service for all of them, let's say. It's a
Yeah.
pretty complex situation, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so Andrew Tate for prime minister. Yes, we understand he doesn't get elected directly, but women would vote for him, and there's a lot of women who would want him there. And I will bet to say that the women from this video, do I want to? It would be the kind of women that would like to have him as a prime minister. We need strong leaders where we are, and again, that 4 steps, right? Strong men create good times create weak men creates bad times create strong men. We need strong men to create good times. We are in bad times right now in the West. That's why Donald Trump got elected. That's why the AfD is increasing their significance in Germany. We are in a world where we need strong leaders. Because trust me, the West cannot confront Putin, Xi Jinping, the supreme leader of Iran, with Biden or someone weaker. No. If you want to have this conflict, you need to have strong men. So
Yeah, I would say that's needed for the West due to the position that they're in at the moment. And I don't know if there's a way to dig themselves out of it. The people that I listen to that are smarter and richer than me have said that there may not be an exit out of this. So I recommend people check out the Inside China Business YouTube channel, and you'll see what I'm talking about with the statistics, where like 90% of the titanium comes from Russia and Kazakhstan and all these rare earth minerals. Like even if a friendly country controls it, like a certain amount, China still has the supply chains, the networks and everything. So the US and Europe and all this is in a very bad, like they're worse off in the bargaining position with what they need, right? So they need the metals to make the airplanes, Boeing and Airbus, and they need the electronics to keep the economies going and all these different things. Rare earth metals to make the factories, to make whatever it is, cars and computers and these various things. So if they don't bargain correctly, it's not going to be a good outcome. And we see that what's happening right now with Germany, right? They've now lost, the bargain with energy, and now they're in a weakened position on energy. And Volkswagen and other these European cars and stuff, and they're losing market share. So they're in a weak bargaining position. So you definitely need strong men to somehow, how do you call it? Like counteract that negative balance that they're in. They're in it's an uphill kind of fight right now. So
yes,
yeah.
I couldn't agree more. So I think we cover a lot of things. We cover feminism, Andrew Tate, the industry, the situation of the West, geopolitics, and again, back to Donald Trump and to wrap this up, tariffs is the only major negative thing that I see Donald Trump pushing for, and that's going to be the one thing that's going to be disastrous to the world. So we talk about Donald Trump, Canada, the possibility of Greenland. Greenland belongs to Denmark. We talk about Andrew Tate. I do believe the UK will be much better off with a prime minister such as Andrew Tate and a strong leader. We also cover this assault that's happening on the West on traditional values, and anything that brings us back to our nuclear family, traditional values, and respect for private property is something that will be defending and promoting. So this is it, I think, Cora.
Yeah, please don't forget to subscribe
Oh,
to the
yes.
channel.
I appreciate
Join
you
the
all if you did. Yeah. So appreciate you all for being here. And if you got value from this and you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe to the channel. Also click the notification bell so you'll be notified as soon as another video is coming up. And if you want to be in more control of your private property, if you understand Bitcoin as the greatest manifestation of property, consider joining the Academy. Cryptocurrencies is something that you need to educate yourself before coming to it. If you come to the crypto space believing only you're going to be making 20x, 100x, only looking for the capital gain, chances are you will get hurt. There's a lot of education that needs to be taken, and there's a lot of security that you need to learn about. If you want to find out how to enter the crypto space securely and protect your assets, please consider joining the Academy. Link for that on the description below. And with this, thank you guys for being here. Appreciate you all. Thank you, Juche. Marcos was here with us. Thank you, Marcos, for being here. Thank you, Cora. And any final message?
Same time next week. Same time next week.
Okay. Is that it? Cora, or different time? Yeah.
It's possible that we change it, but it's possible that we leave it. I'm
Okay.
gonna let you guys know.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Ciao,
Have a good
everyone.
weekend.
Bye.
Ciao, ciao.